When the universe was young and only darkness stretched through the vast empty void, the old gods had yet to be birthed from the fire of the stars. In this endless nothingness, where neither time nor form existed, the first semblance of consciousness stirred. These minds, if they could be called that, knew nothing but the abyss. There was no sound, no warmth, no motion, only the cold weight of eternity pressing against them. They were not born, they simply were. And then the light came. It was not gentle. It did not creep or whisper. It pierced. It carved its way into the blackness like a blade of burning gold, birthing galaxies and shaping creation with the cruel indifference of something that had never known silence. It was beauty to the newborn gods who rejoiced in its radiance, but to the ancient ones who had existed before, it was agony. The light was blinding, an invader, an insult to their formless existence. In their hatred, they became. From the formless dark, they shaped themselves into something terrible. They twisted their essence into bodies that could strike, hands that could tear, mouths that could curse. Their very presence was a wound upon the universe, and with them, they brought suffering. Where they walked, light withered, and all things decayed. The old gods, those who had been born from the stars, feared them. They gave these beings names, whispered in hushed tones across the celestial realms. Rigor and Mortis, the lords of decay, the harbingers of ruin, the unmaking. Where they moved, worlds crumbled. Planets grew old and died in moments. Stars flickered and collapsed into cold husks. The fabric of reality itself trembled at their presence, and all creation seemed doomed to rot beneath their feet. It was said that nothing could stand against them, that they were as eternal as the dark itself, that no god nor titan could challenge them. But then, a man rose to fight. His name is lost to time. No temples bear his image, no songs sing of his deeds, and no lineage claims his blood. He was not a god, he was not a giant, he was mortal, flesh and bone. But something within him burned with a fire even the old darkness could not snuff out. With a blade forged from the first dying star, he hunted the twin horrors across the ruined cosmos. He was alone, and they were vast. His life was but a fleeting moment, and they were eternal. Yet he fought. He fought through the decay of 1,000 dead worlds, through the echoes of voices silenced by Rigor's suffocating grasp, through the whispers of despair left by Mortis's hand. He fought for days that stretched into years, a single mortal against the horrors of the first darkness. The battle reshaped reality itself, tearing rifts into the heavens and birthing storms that would rage until the end of time. And then, against all that was thought possible, he slew them both. Rigor fell first, his form shattering into blackened bone and rusted sinew, his death scream stretching across the cosmos like a dying wail. Mortis raged in the wake of his brother's fall, striking at the warrior with the fury of a god undone. But the man did not falter. With the last of his strength, he drove his blade into the heart of decay itself. Mortis crumbled, his form splitting apart, his power bleeding into the void. The old gods were gone. And for the first time since the light had come, the universe was at peace. But that is not where the story ends. The bodies of Rigor and Mortis were never destroyed. Their bones calcified, turning to black iron harder than any metal known to gods or men. Their blood pooled and hardened into dark crystals, pulsing with the remnants of their power. Their sinew, their flesh, every part of them remained, a cursed residue of the first darkness. And from these remains, the armor of Rigor and Mortis was born. No one knows who first gathered the pieces. Some say it was the man who slew them, fearing that if left unchecked, their remains would corrupt the universe once more. Others claim it was the gods themselves, dividing the armor so that none could ever wear it whole. Piece by piece, it was scattered across creation, hidden in tombs older than memory, buried beneath mountains that have long since turned to dust, lost in the depths of forgotten worlds where no light has ever touched. Yet, the legend remains. It is said that whoever wears the armor will wield the power of the slain gods, that with even a single piece, they may command decay itself, bring ruin with a touch, silence life with a whisper. And if the armor is ever made whole, if one being, mortal or god, were to don the complete set, then the first darkness would rise again. Rigor and Mortis would be reborn, and the horrors of the old universe would return.